Called Otto is directed by Marc Forster and stars Tom Hanks as essentially a worn-down, cranky old man that doesn't really believe that he has much to live for anymore. He goes around town making what he calls his rounds, correcting everybody else's issues because in a big way, he's basically a Karen. Secretly, he's trying to kill himself, but life just keeps getting in the way, delaying him from doing the deed. Back in the day when I exclusively wrote movie reviews, I went through all of, or at least most of, Tom Hanks' filmography. So I can say that while I haven't seen absolutely everything that he's done over the years, I have seen most. And what I can tell you right off the bat is he rarely comes out with a movie that isn't good. His earliest films ever, those aren't always consistently great, but for a few decades at this point, whether you like the movie or not, I think that we can all agree that Tom Hanks is the standout in whatever it is. Like Charlie Wilson's War, for instance. I remember being bored by that movie, but Tom Hanks was great. That's basically just to be expected at this point in his career. He knows what he is doing. But does the same apply for this one, A Man Called Otto? I think for the most part, yes it does. Tom Hanks shines once again as this down on his luck grumpy old geezer. I think one of the biggest upsides and downsides to this film overall is the sheer fact that this role is very unlike Tom Hanks, who in a lot of ways can always seem to be an everyday man, you know, America's dad, so to speak, you know. He can be yelling in his movies, but we always relate to him because deep down he cares so much. Or at least his characters typically do. This cranky version of Tom Hanks was kind of weird to me because I had a hard time caring about him because of how cold his exterior was. Through the use of flashbacks, you get to care a little bit more about his character based off of everything that he has already gone through in his life. But when Tom is playing the character, you rarely get to see the human side of him. Even when he's alone and talking to his wife at her gravesite, I don't know, I didn't always 100% believe he was acting very human. And I get it, people who are depressed and angry all the time, you often have a hard time connecting with them. It's not always like in the movies, but there was just something about this film I didn't fully connect with or believe, and unfortunately, I actually think it was because it was Tom. Because it really is so unlike him. Because of that, I struggled to believe it. The flashbacks starring his real-life son Truman, though, those were full of human behavior, emotion, life, drive, all that. And even though I do wish it was his other son, Cullen, who actually looks like Tom Hanks, Truman not so much, I still preferred that storyline because that's what I was actually invested in. That's what actually gave the entire film heart. And through those flashbacks, I began to care more about Tom's portrayal. But his portrayal alone didn't do much for me, unfortunately. And that's not to say that I'm cold or don't care about those types of stories, or that I don't care about the people that are depressed and going through suicidal thoughts or tendencies. Not at all. Like I said, his character is cold. He's calculated, he's doing all of this without so much of a shred of emotion, but rather it's all planned out, it's all logical, it's all schedule oriented. That's what his character's all about and known for. He's all logic. And I don't connect with logic like that. The most emotion that you get out of Tom Hanks is really through his dialogue, especially in the third act of the film. The things that he says, he doesn't really say them with a lot of emotion, but what they represent is full of emotion. So, in a word, I found this film strange. I liked it, don't get me wrong, but I expected to like it a whole lot more than I did. I actually expected to fall in love with it, to consider it one of Tom Hanks' best roles ever because of how different it was for him. But that's not how I felt. Instead, I'm actually reminded of a Robin Williams film called The Angriest Man in Brooklyn, where again, happy-go-lucky, very beloved actor, R.I.P. by the way, just acted mean and very unlike Robin Williams. That movie just made me mad. This one I'm okay with, but I'm definitely on the fence overall. With that being said, let's go ahead and break down my final score for a second, which I rated A Man Called Otto a B-letter grade, final overall score of 78%. 78 out of 100 possible stars across the board. It's a movie that I consider to be decent, well made, dealing with subject matter that is tough. I think that, Tom Hanks gave it his all, and there are certainly moments in the film that can tug on your heartstrings and really have people falling in love with it. I can see all of that as clear as day. but I also find that I'm not in that crowd either. To me, it was fine. I don't really regret watching it, but I doubt that I'll care to see it again. But with that being said, guys, let me know your thoughts on A Man Called Otto in the comment section down below, as well as what your favorite Tom Hanks film is. And as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button, and the bell to be notified when I come out with the next review. And until then, peace.